Hit it.
Welcome back to Nerd Shit in the Dark, everybody. We are your hosts, Chase, the Chaz Skripek, and
Jake the Jackal. Let's be a jackal today, Dunstan.
Jackal. Okay.
I don't know if that's what we were last time.
I think
but
you
today
were a
jackal.
jackalope the last
time.
time.
Jackal. Okay. I'm going to run out of J words.
I don't. There's thousands of them. Jake, we've been talking about this episode for a really long time, man. We've been planning it for what feels like a really long time. It's only been it'll be 3 weeks on Thursday, but it feels a lot longer. We have some big things, but
for sure.
What's going on with you, man?
Dude, I'm ready to rock and roll. We have a big topic today.
Yes, we do.
I have a book to talk about that I'm going to struggle to talk about.
Okay.
I'm kind of nervous about it, but we'll see how it goes. But we have a big topic today.
We do have a big topic today.
It's changed. We have a topic today that has changed my personal life.
It really has.
And that of others.
Yeah.
That's big shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's big stuff.
I think it's changed your personal life. So to break it down, we'll give everybody a little heads up. We are going to be finishing off today's episode by talking about Clair Obscur's Expedition 33. And Jake texted me about this game like the day before it came out. And I told him I had been waiting for it for quite some time. And he just pulled the trigger. He doesn't have a lot of history with a lot of turn-based RPGs. And since the day he started playing this game, he's just been into turn-based JRPGs. Talk about that.
Just quickly, I have done nothing but read books for 3.5 years.
Yes.
And since this game came out, if we weren't doing this podcast, I would not have touched a book. I've only read 40 pages of book since this game came out.
Wow.
That's it. That's it. And my college roommate is the same way as me. I got him into reading books.
Yeah.
And he was kind of disappointed in me because he said, because we're like not a book club, but we keep up with each other on the books, you know? And he's like, hey, I'm hitting a big stride again. Where are you at? What's going on with your books? And I said, hey, buddy, I haven't touched shit in a week. He said, what's going on with you, man? I'm worried about
I don't know you anymore.
Like this game, man, this game. And he's like, I don't know. It doesn't really sound like it's for me. I'm like, listen, I've never tried to put you on a video game. Just try it. You have the money. Just try it.
Yeah.
And now he and his wife, they have a new baby. And every time they have to do something for the baby, she's walking around going, for those who come before, for those who come after.
Wow.
Like, that's where they're at. Like, he also now has not read a book since he started playing.
It's a good game, man. It's a good game.
I know, dude. All right. Anyway,
we'll get more into that. But I kind of we're gonna get into it when but I want to talk about all these RPGs that you're now excited for when we get to that
dude, it's bad. It's taking over my life.
That's okay. Sometimes you gotta let things take over your life every once in a while. It's totally fine. It's totally fine.
Heard, brother.
So how about this? You have a book to talk about.
Yeah.
I have a book and a movie. So
how about that? What book are you reading?
It's one I finished. So yeah, I'll start with my book. Then we'll go to your book. Then we'll go to my movie, and then we can talk about the video game.
I can touch on a TV show for 5 seconds.
Sure, that too.
Hell yeah.
So, so you know me, man. You've gotten me into Wheel Time, and then just through conversation, I started reading the Sun Eater series. I read all the Air Guns. I've been reading a lot of series of big books lately.
Tough.
It can be. When you're pushing through 600, 700 pages books pretty regularly, every once in a while you need to tell yourself to take a little breather. So I chose a book. It's more of a novella.
What is it?
But it is called When Among Crows by Veronica Roth. It's very small book. Veronica Roth she wrote the Divergent series, which I have not read. I think I saw the first movie. But this book was it's been on the van for a year. The cover has always caught my eye. It talks about it being a fantasy. So we're doing a thing at work where we're reading a book with the title of every letter of the alphabet for the year to win prizes at the end of the year. So, I needed a W. I needed a book to get done and on my list for that month. So I was just like, fuck, I can pound through this. And I did. I read it I could have read it probably in one day, but I read it in 2 days. Real quick read, nothing super crazy. Like, would I recommend this book to you? I recommend it as like, if you just want a quick something, just a quick something, because it was good. But like most novellas, it's very, compare this to any of the Wheel of Time.
It's just nice.
She
right?
uses her time very differently. Like, it's a very like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
This is the plot. These are the characters. This is the story.
That's a fun way to put it.
And what really got me interested in this book, and it's something that kind of got me interested in The Witcher, and I don't think I give the Witcher more of a chance in this realm, but it's based around Polish folklore. And like Polish fantasy and fairies and pixies and their kind of stories, which is interesting to me because I'm Polish and I don't really know much about
also Polish.
my heritage. Right. So like, I thought like, this is a cool way to see, like, let me into this world that is like my culture that I only know like through like food and not like fairy tales, because
that's cool.
Fairy tales are kind of my shit. If it weren't for fairy tales, I don't think we'd have any of the nerd things we're really into right now. They're kind of the baseline for a lot of this stuff. So it's cool to get to know something about my own culture. So this book kind of goes into a story of the main character. His name is Demeter, I believe his name is. It's spelled very, Polish like, but I'm pretty sure it's Demeter. And they don't really give you a full understanding of what he is exactly. It's like, you kind of find it out throughout the book. If you have half a brain cell, you can be like, I bet he's one of these people. But he's on kind of a quest to stop a curse and find Baba Yaga, who is like the mightiest witch in the world. She can she's basically the god to these fairy tale creatures, which are different kinds. There's three that they kind of focus on in this one. There's Zmora, or Zmori, I believe is the plural term for what they are, which are like, they're all kind of like vampire-esque monster creatures that can take human form. And they feed on human, I believe, fear. Let me check my notes real quick to make sure I'm saying what they feed on is right. Yes, the Zmora feed on human fear. So all of these creatures, they kind of feed on people's emotions, and that's a big thing in Polish fairy tales is the monsters kind of feed on emotions rather than people themselves, but they cause people to feel these emotions. So that's one of the beasts. Then there's a name for these, but they do call them banshees, so I'm just going to say banshees. The banshees aren't really big in this first book, but they're there and they feed on people's sorrow, so they get energy from people being sad. And then there are the striga, or the strigi, which I believe is the plural for it, which they feed on people's anger. And so right out the gate, those are in
The Witcher, right? Those are in The Witcher.
Those
right?
are in The Witcher. I thought so too. I thought so too. And it was cool because I'd never read the word, and I'm looking at this word striga. It's spelled Strzyga. And at first I was like, how do I say this? And then I remembered that it was Polish, and I was like, oh, I bet that Z is silent, like in Skripek, like my fucking name. And once I made that connect, because there's lots of Z's in this book that don't belong, and I was like, this book was written for me. I know what all these words are because I know my last name. So I felt very connected, especially when there is a main character who is a Striga, and he was a cool character, so I liked him. But the adventure, I'm not going to go into full spoilers of this book. It's not very big, so that's kind of hard to do. But essentially, there's this holy order of knights that hunt these creatures and, take care of them so the people in the real world are safe from them. They're called the Holy Knights, and they have a sick ability where they have to split their soul to make their weapon. And their weapon is essentially a sword, a bone sword that they pull out of their spine, and their spine is the sheath, and they just rip these fucking things out. It hurts them to do it, but then they have this weapon to fight the monsters with. And everybody has a different one, because cool. You don't see a lot of holy knights in this book. They're referenced a lot, they're talked about, there's visions of them from time to time. And they all have different kinds of swords or weapons that they pull out of their spine. So that's really cool. But here's the thing, Jake. The Holy Knights in this book are made out more to be the villains. And you kind of find out very early on that our main character, Demeter, actually, even though he was raised in monster kind of hunting, he sees these people as people. Because they are technically people, just with the blood of these monsters that kind of make them into what they are. But they are just living normal lives. They just happen to feed on people's emotions, which I guess the Holy Order doesn't like, so they got to take care of business. And there's a roundabout story. It's bobbing kind of in and out of like Demeter's past, what led Demeter, because you're kind of thrown in at the beginning of a quest he's already left on, which is the opening chapter is very fun. He gets this like flower petal that breaks curses, and like he has to do an archery thing to get it from this creature that has it. Very fun start to the book. He teams up with this character Ayla, who is Zmora, and she's cursed with the curse that like has killed parts of her family, and whenever somebody in her family dies, somebody else in the family gets the curse. Went down the line, her mom died, boom, she's got it. And that's basically how Demeter gets her to work with him. He's like, I need your help finding Baba Yaga because I have this flower, and if you use this, the curse that is affecting your family life and your life, which every morning gives her just like visions of horrible death, of like holy knights killing her people, and it's just like awful. If you help me find Baba Yaga. And they set off on an adventure through Chicago. It's set in like modern day.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
What do they call that? There's a term for that. Keep going.
Yeah. I don't know too much more to go into without getting into many spoilers.
I mean, it sounds interesting. Isn't it amazing the use of time by authors that you're like giving me a whole spiel? You know, it's a lot of information.
I'm giving you a lot of stuff, still holding a lot back, but also thinking
and
like
it's only 100 pages.
Right, it's 163 pages, and it's small. You know what I mean? Even these pages took me a grand total of probably like 3.5 hours to read this whole book, maybe. And like I said, it's not anything wild. It's not anything crazy. They could make like a movie out of this. Like I think this is a book that would fit as a one movie. There's another book coming out next year that's a little bit longer, end of this year. So I'm excited to see where like this little series of like characters goes, because it's a very interesting start. It ends kind of like there's a twist with the Baba Yaga thing, and everything kind of goes in a direction opposite of what these things usually go. So I like that. And
it was fun too, right?
Yeah,
it was fun to read.
The way she wrote it,
they call it suburban fantasy. I think that's what they call it. Suburban fantasy, where you're in like a modern.
Makes
sense.
Know
what I mean?
Yeah, it's like modern Chicago. The guy has like a broken old iPhone that they talk about. He has a guitar case that he keeps like a bow and arrow in. Demeter, the main character, and he like
it's kind of badass.
It's a little bit of a spoiler because he just carries around this guitar case the whole time, but. I thought it was a sword because on the cover he's got this sword, but
a big ass sword. Yeah,
but he's carrying around the guitar thing. I'm like, there's a fucking weapon in there. So not like that's the thing. There's nothing too crazy. Nothing happens in this book that will make you go like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Like it's nothing crazy. It's just a fun little romp.
They can be fun, right?
Yeah, and I'm glad I got introduced to these characters. I got introduced to like some of the fantasy that comes out of like Poland that I don't really know much about, because there's a lot of references. Like Demeter, he's like from there and he just travels to Chicago. Like people are speaking Polish. Like it was a fun little. It makes me want to dive a little deeper into more like history about Polish people. And and then when this next book comes out, I wonder if it'll like dive a little deeper, because I saw it's more like 300 pages. So I'm like,
oh, cool.
What are we gonna get out of the next one? Like something.
Does she have? Is that like her first book? Does she have anything else before that? Do you know?
In this series,
that author, or just in general?
She wrote the Divergent series.
You said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And she's got other things. This one just came out like last year, I think.
So she's made some money on Divergent, right?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They made fucking movies out of that. And
yeah.
I didn't know her writing style. This one is in like a very third person omnipotent. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Omniscient.
Yeah. Omnipresent kind of godly figure. Like, whoever they're focusing on is whose mind you're in. It's told through the author.
I like that.
It's written kind of fun.
It's very easy to read.
Super
right? Like
easy.
It's a very digestible way to read.
Yes.
And some people have a problem with that because they're snobs. I think it's just like, again, it's nice to just relax with it sometimes, because let's not act like the Wheel of Time is relaxing. It's the best story ever told.
It's great,
it's not relaxing,
but it is not relaxing at all.
It's work.
Yeah,
it's work.
I do not read it because I'm like, time to just let loose.
Just want to chill.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. This very much so. Like,
that's good.
Not just in size, but like the detail that you have to pay attention
just the way
for
it's written.
Just nice. Yeah.
So you'd say it's digestible?
Very digestible. Very digestible. And like I said, fun for like what was originally, I think, just going to be a one-off. Maybe not originally, but like what could just be like a one-off book. Fun little story. You get to know a few characters. You get to know a few new things. There's a magic system in it that is kind of based, I guess, around Polish fairy tale magic system where like people get abilities by like owing debts or owing favors to be like the magic is more not through you, it's through circumstance. They don't go into it a whole lot. Like I said, small book, but
means
it
like
is,
we have a lot more to be discussed then in future books.
It is talked about. It is like referenced in conversation with characters of like why they might be helping each other, why they know each other, you know, why they might be able to use a little bit of magic before they're out in certain scenarios. So I found that interesting. It had a magic system that it didn't go into a lot, but it was one that I'm not super familiar with.
Yeah.
And maybe some people are that have read into more of this kind of like stuff, but for me it was
I'd never heard of something quite like that.
Yeah, it was interesting. And like I said, the next book, especially the way this first one ends, I'm very interested to see where she's going with it. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah,
I'll read it. I'll read anything. 160 pages. I'm like,
dude,
I'm here. I'll try.
I guarantee you could read this book in like an hour, like a lunch
maybe
break.
Never at the rate I'm currently reading.
That's fair. Well, tell me about your book.
So I read the first book in this series on my way to and from Italy, which was a good thing and a bad thing. I had all the time in the world, but
too much time.
I was on the plane for a total of like 24 hours for that. And at some point you're like, hey, fuck, what you could give me the best thing in the world, and I'm gonna be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to get off this damn plane.
Yeah, no doubt.
But the first book's it's The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. He's got a few series, and apparently they're all pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, when I read it, I thought it was supposed to just be a one of, and it's not, because I just finished the second book in the series. But so the reason I'm not gonna struggle to explain it, but I want to say at the beginning, I don't know what term you use to describe this, but my go-to when describing it is like House. Okay, so like the show House, how every episode has its own plot that's really the focus, but there is some overarching plot or world going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how that is a theme in TV shows?
Sure, yeah.
Right? Like where there's a world going
House
on, but every episode is its own episode,
mm-hmm.
but there is an overarching world going on, and that world is being influenced by these stories, by these individual stories. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let me explain.
No, yeah, go.
So the world, in the broad sense, is very much stolen from Attack on Titan. There are three administrative layers, so 3 big walls. And there's groups of people living inside of each sex of those walls.
Mm-hmm.
The inner circle are the very privileged and rich. And as it goes further out, it gets worse.
When did this book come out?
Of course, after Attack on Titan.
Figured. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's publishing them very quick. But and outside of the third wall are sea leviathans that are attacking the walls that they have to fight off.
Attack on Sea Leviathan.
Okay, except that's not really the plot at all of these books. That's just what's happening in the background. I'll give you the short on the magic system. There are, how do I say, they have taken, I think this is like a very minor spoiler, that they get the magic from the Leviathans. So they use the meat or hearts of the Leviathans to create genetically modified plants, and they genetically modify humans with them as well.
Okay.
So it's like humans that have perfect memory, that have incredible math skills, and enhanced physical strength. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now this is gonna 180. So the main character, his name is Din, and he is apprenticed to work for a detective. And he is a third layer person, right? Grew up poor. His parents have a shit ton of debt. He is a, I forget the name of the people, engravers that has a perfect memory.
Okay.
So
I like that.
He's been genetically modified to have a perfect memory, and he sniffs these like oils, and then his eyes roll in the back of his head, and he can recount situations and what he sees perfectly.
Okay.
But he's been assigned to be the apprentice for this woman named Anna, and she is very, very smart, and she's genetically modified as well, but you don't know what has been done to her. Through 2 books. You still don't exactly know what was done to her, and she doesn't say.
Fun.
She's also very, very, very autistic. So she has to be blindfolded in public all the time because she can't stand the stimuli. But she is a super genius. So she is doing constant deductions, and they're doing a murder mystery. That is the plot of the book. So it is a murder mystery fantasy.
Okay.
That's how it was sold to me.
Yeah.
So I read it trying to find something different from my typical hero's journey tale.
Yeah,
you know, I don't get to read a murder mystery.
Yeah.
And you're combining a fantasy element. Seems fun. It's very Sherlock and Holmes. You know what I mean?
Sherlock
and Watson. Gabapentin. It's the Gabapentin. But yeah, and of course, like Din is the Watson, but he is your main character that you're following.
Okay.
So in the first book, there was a so also overarching, there's an empire that is running everything, and there is an emperor that you know very, very little of, even through 2 books. He's just like this thing in the background that people have talked about, which is fun.
You can do that.
I will say I'm just getting through 2 books. My only criticism is I am getting to a point where I'm like, I would like to know more about what's happened.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Is that emperor like evil? Do you know if is he good?
You literally know like nothing about him
know
except that he's like 600 plus years old.
Usually a bad
and he
sign.
was there at the start of the empire when these group of people, the first people that learned how to genetically modify people, and they genetically modified themselves, and they gave themselves all the powers. But that's like it. You don't know much else, which it's interesting because it's an interesting way to go about it, because someone like Din, who is growing up in this, you know, basically where Aaron grew up in Attack on Titan, he's not concerned with that shit. He's just trying to live.
Yeah.
You know, he's just trying to get by. Like
life.
So it's an interesting way. I think that's how I look at it, that for him, he's not thinking about that. He's just trying to make some money for his family. That's the way I try to think about it.
Yeah.
But so in the first book, they're solving a murder at a pretty big political figure's house. I can't, if I go into any more, I will spoil.
Fair
but
enough.
so that's, so
Good
in
enough.
that book, that's what, and then in the second book, it's another murder mystery in a different part of their country or empire. It's good. The murder mystery aspects are all very good, very compelling. That I found the first one more compelling. But they're both good, and the payoffs are great when you figure it out, you know?
So would you say that the like each book is an episode of House, and then the story?
Yeah, that's what
yes. Okay.
100%.
I wasn't sure if it was
that's
like
what I'm
a
trying to
chapter's
say.
an episode, but okay.
No, it's
that's
one
good.
murder
like
mystery.
That. I like
one murder mystery per book.
That's
but
nice. How many books are out?
Just the 2.
Just the 2.
But he's done 2 in a year. He did 2 in a year, which is good, right?
Yeah.
And let me tell you, he could just write.
I feel like a lot of
50
authors
of these
do
if
that,
he
where they'll
wanted
write
to.
the first like 2 books at once and pound them
Right.
out quick.
He could. Well, I think it's very easy. I mean, let's be honest. Like murder mysteries are a pretty easy topic to write. But what's good is, like, of course, if it was just a murder mystery, it would be, oh, okay, they solved. This is why I don't find House entertaining. It's just a good example that, like, if they just solved. Now, if they just solved the murder at the end of the book, and it's like, that's the bad guy, we got him.
Yeah.
That'd be to me, I wouldn't be that interested.
Yeah.
But what happens in both of them is, like, they solve it maybe 70% of the way through the book, and then things unravel from there that have a larger impact on the world. If that makes sense.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So
it's like Harry Potter. Cool. Every book kind of has its own story, but there's a Voldemort thing that happens that ties it together.
Right.
At the
okay.
end.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Yeah, so it's fun. It's more fun than, like some kind of great, amazing, incredible, epic fantasy. It's more
Sure.
fun, but it is fun. I like them.
That being said,
the other guy,
we do have fun with the ones we got to work on.
oh my God. I mean, they're the
still
fucking
fun. It's
best.
just a
You'll
different
never
kind of fun.
get the reward.
Yeah.
It's more rewarding, in my opinion. But yeah, they're fun, man. I hope he writes more. I don't know how long he's gonna take because he does have other series that he has written that have all done well. But he writes pretty fast.
Yeah.
Which you appreciate.
Yeah.
But they're fun. I would definitely recommend them for like an easier
How big are
read. On Kindle, the hardcover of the first one is 400 pages.
It's not bad.
So not bad. But you know what it is? It's that same like third person omniscient view.
Okay.
So yeah, it's more I think. No, that's not true. It's from Din's perspective. Jesus Christ, today I'm having one,
the
dude.
Complete opposite.
I'm totally focused on. I have not thought about anything but what we're talking about in 10-20 minutes. But yeah, it's an easy read, is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't feel like 400 pages. The second book took me a really long time to read, but it's because I haven't been reading.
Is it also 400 pages? Give me them Kindle number. I do a lot of my reading on Kindle now too.
450. I do these things. I much prefer to have
the Kindle app.
I much prefer to have the book. And
There's
my problem is
though.
There's such a convenience. One of them being I have so many goddamn books, and I've spent so much money on books.
Sure, yeah.
I've spent so much money on books.
It's a lot cheaper.
The second one being, dude, being able to read this in a room with the lights off is one of the best things in the world. It is one of the best things in the world. And most of the books I read are 1,000 pages. Look how little this bitch is.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Tiny.
And I was worried about it just because I have to read off screens all day for work. So I was really against getting one for a while.
Yeah.
But I tried out the Paperwhite.
Oh.
And it doesn't feel like reading.
That's nice. Like a screen.
It doesn't feel like reading off a screen. You know what I mean? Not to deter you from your iPad. It just doesn't feel like reading off a screen.
I have Miranda got me these kind of like blue lens glasses kind of. So I'll wear those sometimes when I'm reading it.
They work.
But like I love the Kindle app because like I'll read on my iPad, and then if I'm laying in bed, I have it also on my phone, so I can jump right onto my phone, read it in bed. Like that's how I've been doing Sun Eater, is just like that. So
yeah,
it is
so freaking convenient.
I love physical. You know what I mean? I love the book. I'm always pro book. For a long time, I said never will I read.
Me too.
That way.
Me too.
But I can't say that I don't love it as well. And
it's funny too because my aunt, who is much smarter than me, she's anyway, she had laughed at me one time and she was like, yeah, you'll get there on the Kindle.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck you. I'm never doing it. I'm never doing it. And goddamn, she was right. But my deal on the Kindle is I buy the first book in a series, and if I love it, if I'm like, this, I have to have this, I'll go buy it, and then I'll start buying them. But what I do is, dude, Amazon has so many deals on like, if you're checking all the time, I have not bought a Kindle book for more than $5 ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super nice.
Sometimes I pay the 10 if I want a book like right there, but like I feel like I've never seen anything over 10. Maybe
I should have told you this. There's a website right now. What the fuck's it called? Like Humble Bundle?
Books. Yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
I saw
okay,
it.
I should have told you
I
about
almost did it. I almost pulled the trigger. I didn't.
Dude,
I should, but I didn't.
I'm thinking about buying them. I forget what the name it's called. Is it Humble Bundle?
Humble Bundle sounds right. That sounds...
Are you telling me I pulled that, but I said my book was in third person?
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Sherlock and Holmes.
Oh, dude. For viewers, I pinched a nerve in my neck today, so I'm on drugs.
He was so excited to do this podcast. His nerves just...
Dude, it's... Oh my God, it's like the most painful thing in the world, too. I'm still thinking about buying the Wheel of Time books just because it feels like my best chance to get Tori to read them is so that she has
hold the books that are bigger than her entire body.
Yeah, and she pretty much exclusively reads on her phone.
Yeah.
So it's just right there. You can't make an excuse. You know what I mean?
I don't
and
know
for
what she's doing
$18,
not reading these books, to be honest, but that's her life.
Yeah, but if it's right in her hand, and it'll be like my fourth copy
70% of her life on that phone. She will.
It's better now.
Which is what you.
I made her delete TikTok.
That helps. his Tumblr once upon a time, dude, and it was fucking
I've heard.
awful. Yeah, I bet. It's hard
I've
not
heard.
to. Not to rip on your fiance too much. Another thing I like about the Kindle though too is you can adjust like the font size. So if you just needed to, I just feel like I read so much faster too when I'm on my iPad than when I'm reading the book, just because of the options like that. One other thing I really like, and then we'll move on. Or
I have more to say about the Kindle, so no,
sure,
we're not moving on yet.
So in Sun Eater, the main character, he's really intelligent. Hadrian Marlowe, he's like really smart, so he uses a lot of pretty big words.
Yeah.
What I like is I can just click on it and be like, not only like tell me how to say it and tell me what it means. You know, I don't have to dig around. It's right fucking there. So I like that.
Dude, you know, once upon a time when I was a smart person, you know, I used to be well educated.
Yeah. Me too. It's weird how it just goes.
Oh, I used to be very well educated. I used to work really hard at life, and I just somewhere around 27 I gave up. You know, I get it. I used to read a lot for school, and any word that I came across I didn't know, I had like a list of words that I would go over all the time until I knew them. And now I'm just like a fucking moron. My Kindle thing that actually makes me read slower is that I do get it definitely comes like still from being like when you're a kid, that I get a little bit of like a high and a drive of looking at a book and seeing where my bookmark is. Like do you know what I mean? Like I look at the book, I see how far along my bookmark is. And if I'm not very far, I'm like, man, I got to get to work on this. Or if I'm getting near the end, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna get, you know, I don't get that same, that's the one thing that I don't get from the Kindle quite the same way. Is that enough to make me not use it? No. But it is just a one downside.
Not when it has the opposite, where it tells you like, hey, dude, you're like 6 pages away from finishing this chapter. You're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, my problem is though, it makes me feel like shit when I'm like, it's like you're 12% into this book. I'm like, yeah, what am I doing? I suck.
But once you get fucking moving, it bobs and weaves. It ebbs and flows.
They work, buddy. They do. I have a lot of books, and I just buy so many when they come up for $2, $3. Books are $30.
They sure are. And
I know
they don't take up any space, and they don't take up a lot of money when you buy them this way.
I understand that people don't want to support Amazon, and like I'm sure they're all justified. My only bad news for them is that Amazon's the shit. That is the problem. Is Amazon is the best. Like, what are you gonna do? Yeah, it works. Okay, we're rambling.
There are people who don't support Amazon, which is fine, but like, that's a losing battle if you think it's a battle.
They have so much of my money.
They have so much of everybody's money. It's, you know.
Okay, what movie did you watch?
So, you know, I always gotta start these off with a little story. But on the last podcast, I don't know if you listened. I talked about
who?
It was me and Braden, just talking about Star Wars.
Star Wars
and stuff. I talked about Captain America: Brave New World and how I just thought it was like not great. Just a whatever.
Oh, movie. You saw Thunderbolts.
We saw Thunderbolts a couple weeks back, and I've been ready to talk about it since then.
I've been waiting to ask you. I had a feeling that you had seen it already.
So ultimately, I'm just gonna say up front, I won't give a whole lot of spoilers throughout this. I will beat on some points because I do want to talk about it, you know, a little in depth. It's the newest Marvel movie. I had a surprisingly really fun, or not, I don't even want to say fun. I had a good time with this movie. I found this movie to be such a, like, does it have all the Marvel things that, like, I guess people rip on as part of it? Sure, they're there. But this is a very different type of Marvel movie mixed with a very familiar type of Marvel movie. And I really liked it a lot. Miranda loved it. It's pretty fucking good. Like, is it like, somebody asked me, like, compare it to Infinity War, and I was like, okay, it's not Infinity War Endgame level Marvel stuff. Even the things that happen in it aren't like big deal Marvel stuff. I compared it more to the first Avengers movie, if anything. It's just the themes and the things that it touches on in this movie from the very beginning are so heavy, and they handle it very well. Like, this is a movie about depression. Like, hands down, the movie is about people with and dealing with depression for whatever reason, shape, or form. And the way they go into this, not just like through the lines they say, but like literally some of the shit that happens in this movie I was, as somebody who's not like clinically depressed, has been depressed, but not like what I would say clinically depressed. I was very touched by this movie, and then people I know that are depressed really were like, this movie really connected with me. Miranda cried 3 times.
Wow,
which
dude.
I don't blame her. Like there was a part that I almost cried. Like I definitely was feeling it, and so that's just like the premise, like a lot of the beats of this movie. And don't get me wrong, it's Marvel. There's humor. It's still, it's still a Marvel movie. It's very in that world that you already know. But like a lot of the things these characters go, like the opening line is, I don't know if you know, how up to date are you with the MCU?
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. 0. Like
And
at all.
And I would like to say,
yeah.
Can you blame me?
I mean, kind of.
No,
Marvel.
Dude. I watched
from beginning to end. What do you?
No, no. I watched every movie through Endgame.
Okay.
Every movie through Endgame. Of
Saying,
course.
okay, now I understand. Now I understand.
Okay, I just assumed that you would assume that I was up to date.
I did,
circa 2019.
But then you said 0, and it made me go, "Oh, maybe he doesn't have any of this."
I've seen a couple since then, and I didn't like them, and I decided to just
which is fine.
There
are some really good ones in the mix, but there's a lot of just like whatever, if not garbage movies.
I've seen the Spider-Mans. I like the Spider-Mans. I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
That one's good.
Came out afterwards,
It's
right?
one of the good ones. I like Multiverse of Madness.
I didn't see the new Doctor Strange.
Shang-Chi's pretty good. Shang-Chi and that are pretty good. There are some good ones. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot going on, but
my biggest complaint are like the Captain Americas and the Thors.
Okay, yeah, no,
because I saw
those are the bad ones.
Yes, the Thor.
Those are bad.
What was it called?
Love
the dude.
Not good.
Yeah, I won't say anything.
Yeah, no,
that's what made me be like, I'm done.
No, no doubt.
3?
No doubt.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. I have a lot of thoughts on all this stuff, but so then you probably don't. A lot of the characters in this movie in particular are all kind of secondary characters from like other movies or TV shows that have been going on in the MCU, which is why it kind of feels like the MCU. And I'll get into that when I get a little deeper into this movie, or not the MCU. Fucking, it's all the MCU. The first Avengers movie. But you follow like the main character of this movie is Yelena. You didn't see Black Widow?
Is Yelena Florence Pugh?
She's Florence Pugh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not see Black Widow.
So she's introduced in Black Widow as Black Widow's like sister, and like she grew up kind of the same way as Black Widow, and then she's also involved in the Hawkeye series where you kind of get to know the character a little more. Overall, I've liked the character. Like she was good, but like, you didn't really know much about her. The movie opens up with a scene of her just being like basically saying, like, she's standing on the second tallest building in the world, just being like, I don't know, man. I just don't feel good about life. like, it's a lot better worded than that, but it's just like this depressing, like right the first couple lines of this movie, I was like, oh, we're going to like this level of like how people feel about life. Like just and then she jumps off the building. She's doing like a mission, but it's like, it's this very just like, oh fuck. And like,
what an interesting way to start.
And from that point on, it's her going on a mission and then eventually teaming up with all the other Thunderbolts who also have some sort of reason to be depressed about their lives and how they deal with it. And you're introduced to a character in this movie who got a super soldier serum, and it amplified, like where Steve Rogers is like amplified his like all of his qualities, and all of his qualities were good. Like they took a guy who had like severe mental health disorder, grew up with abusive parents, or a dad that beat his mom and a mom that bitched at the kid for getting beat. It goes into this kind of stuff in the movie, but it's like, what if a guy like that gets a superhero soul? I think he does meth at one point. He talks about being on meth to like deal with his depression.
Hey, we've all been there.
And he just, and it creates this like superhero split personality, depressive villain for the movie, and it was so good. It was so well done. You literally go into this guy's mind, like there's no big final boss fight at the end of this movie like how there usually is. They literally go into each other's like minds through this guy's powers and like fight their inner demons, and it's done so, I mean, they fight basically his inner demons. The whole movie is them trying to kind of like save him because they all kind of get each other. And yeah, they show it so well in the scenes that they're trying to like give you literal visual, pieces of what mental health looks like. But then they just talk about things in certain scenes, and you like see certain flashbacks of these people's lives, and it's just like, oh fuck, I really feel for these characters who were the villains or just like dickheaded characters in their respective movies or TV shows before this movie. And Bucky's there, so there's somebody that like he's part of their team, and he's also a guy who had a fucked up past and like came out on top. So he's sort of like their Captain America, even though Florence Pugh's the main character. It was solid, man. It's not super long. It felt like the most Avengers-y / like connected to what's going on in the main story type of Marvel movie as well. Like with all these other good things going on throughout it.
Yeah.
I
definitely plan to see it. I've heard nothing but good things. I know they're getting good reception on it, which is a good sign.
It is
right?
reviewing really well. And
it's definitely the first Marvel movie they've gotten like everybody's thumbs up.
Yes,
in a while.
It's cool to see that too. Like I see a couple complaints here and there, but most of all, I've seen.
You know what I mean? The overwhelming majority.
Right.
I think it helps to, like, I haven't seen it, but I think Florence Pugh is a really good actress. I think she could be better in Dune, but she doesn't have much going on, right? It's not like she's super involved.
Yeah.
But she's really good in a very womanly movie we won't discuss. Lewis Pullman, good actor. David Harbour, good actor. You know what I mean? Like these are legitimate actors from other realms that I find them to be good actors.
David
Harbour
that helps. He's
a great actor, dude. He's very good.
Talk about like all these characters. They're depressed, and the way they deal with that makes them their own individual characters. The way he is dealing with his like life and everything, the David Harbour character, Red Guardian, love him.
He's just a good actor.
He's the best part of the Black Widow movie too, and that's the thing. Like once you kind of see them in that, like
I didn't see the Black Widow movie.
You should see that. Yeah. It really helped kind of knowing them up front. For this movie, because
we plan to see this movie, so I'll watch that.
You should definitely watch that one. I think if there's any movie you need, it's one of those movies that when it came out, I was like, this movie didn't need to happen. But now that time has passed, like it's just a movie that should have came out between Infinity War and Endgame. That's all. Like it should have came out back then.
I get you.
But if you watch it now,
that was part of my thing. Is I was confused about. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Kind of.
At the time, but you know what? Now that we're here in the future, I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, knowing Yelena and knowing Red Guardian, they're great characters from that movie. And in this movie, they're even better. Like, he's so fucking funny. Like, most of the really funny lines are just things he's saying. And it's so good. And one of the most serious, like one of the best pep talks in the whole movie, I think it's a part that it's the one that almost made me cry and definitely made Miranda cry, is delivered by him. It's just
I'm not
so
surprised.
Good. So good. Oh my God.
So what do you think about, I've heard, my only worry about this movie, I've heard that Florence Pugh very much wants out.
Oh, really?
Have you heard this?
Mm-mm.
No, I've heard this, that maybe this will bring her back in, but I've heard she's wanted out of the Marvel contract and that she has wanted to make other movies, but she's locked into these.
I feel like she still does make other movies. I feel like she makes
movies.
Is she good in
this? Is she good?
Dude,
yeah.
Like I said,
think
she's
a
the
good
main
actress.
character and probably the best character. Like,
I think
really
she's
through
a good
her
actress.
perspective.
I really do.
She is. Oh my God. Especially when I see her in other things. Like the way she plays this character too. It's like I don't see Florence Pugh. I see Yelena.
Yeah. Dude, one of my favorite movies. This is like the most feminine thing about me. One of my favorite movies is Little Women.
Okay.
And with her and Timothée Chalamet and Saoirse Ronan.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen it, but I know it. Yeah.
I just fucking love it so much. I've seen it like 5 times. She's excellent in that. So, and she's in Midsommar, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No.
Midsommar?
Mm-mm.
Oh God, that's a good one. It's a horror movie. It's weird. It's good though. An A24. It's good. Anyway, cool, dude. I really want to see it. We've talked about it, but oh shit, I have another thing I can talk about. Speaking of why we didn't see it.
Okay.
Have you seen Sinners?
I haven't. I need to. I know. Here's the
Holy
fucking
fuck! I can't
movie
believe
of
I
the
didn't even think
year.
about talking about that. I saw it at this point. It's been a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's
good.
the best movie I've seen in a long time.
I've
For
heard nothing
me,
but good things
for
as well.
me,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I could see. I will say I'm a little bit surprised that it has such glowing reception from everybody.
Because you don't
Because
think it's for everybody?
I could see people being like, "What the fuck is this?" I thought it was incredible, dude.
You and
Michael
everybody
B.
else.
Jordan is so good. It is,
best basketball player
acting,
of all
time. Acting is one of these things for me that I especially if I'm on vitamins and watching, that's when I really know if you're a good actor, because I'm like less easily fooled. Does that make sense? Dude, he is playing two characters at the same time, and it is so fucking believable. He is so good. The music in it. I'm a guitar player. It's old blues music all through it on guitar. Oh my God, dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I would change a little bit of stuff because I am a little bit of a prick, but man, is it good. Like, oh God. Yeah, it's good. Everybody's heard about it at this point, but you have to see it, man.
Tell me a little more about it. My coworker, I mean, I know some stuff, but like, paint me a picture.
Okay, so it starts out, the first scene is a young black, it's clearly in the past, I believe in the 30s, 20s, young black man walking into the church of his father, and his father's the preacher, and you're in the South, and you can instantly tell you're kind of in slave times. I don't know a better way to say that. And he walks in with a guitar smashed, and he's all bloodied and cut up. And his dad tells him, like, I told you not to go play that devil music. Come in here and praise God. I told you this would happen to you. And then it goes 24 hours earlier, and he is cousins of Michael B. Jordan. And Michael B. Jordan is two characters who are twins. And these twins had moved up to Chicago, and they've come back to what is in the South. I believe it's like Mississippi, like very, very rural, very poor South. And
hear that, Mississippi?
You're
rural and poor.
I mean, I think they're pretty well known for that. But would you believe they just passed up New York and California in education? Fucking shocking. Anyway. So they come back, and they're dressed very fancy in nice suits, and they've come back to open a like a bar, a dance bar. What do they call it? Like a juke. A
disco.
Juke. Yeah, a juke is what they call it.
Okay.
And before they had gone, they had given the first guy that you see, they'd given him this guitar, and he learned to play the blues. And so the first. It's like two different stories. It's really weird. I don't want to say the word weird. It's very different, because the first hour and a half, 15 minutes feels like a gangster movie, and then the second hour 15 is a horror movie. It is so Chase is so unique, which I think that is where people are falling in love with it so much, is that you're just like, this is so different,
fresh.
But dude, there's a scene in the middle, and I mean, you'll know it when you watch it. And it's a music scene. Dude, I'm getting chills talking about it. It is that good. Yeah. Like, this music scene, man. The music in it is so fucking good. Michael B. Jordan's so good.
Yeah.
Haley Steinfeld, I think is her name.
Yep, she's in it.
She is good, man. She's good. And the movie is
good. In a lot of stuff, yeah.
But so this is the director who did the Black Panther movies and who did Creed.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Ryan
Coogler? Cuckoo, something like that. It's like, let's look it up. Ryan Coogler.
I want to say Coogler.
Coogler.
Okay, yeah.
First off, this guy is on fucking fire.
He really is.
I mean, what are we talking about? Creed, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Sinners. You shitting me with this guy?
Did he only do the first Creed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
Oh, yeah.
No, he did Creed 2 and Creed 3.
Did
Holy
he do Creed
shit.
3? I thought Michael B. Jordan directed Creed 3.
Maybe they co-directed it.
They
I'm literally just had it Googled right
yeah,
then.
I'm
so
sure.
Yeah. I've never seen the Creed movies. I know people love them.
1 and 2 are good. I haven't seen 3 yet.
I've never watched them. Black Panther is incredible. Yep. This movie, though, dude, he has got to be. He's now. He's just got to be like one of the premier guys now. Like he's in for me after this movie because, like, in fairness to Marvel movies and Creed, like. Like, come on, you're borrowing, right? Like when you do a Marvel movie, you're borrowing someone else's story. You're living off of some of MCU. Not that it's not incredible. And Creed, right? Like you're doing the same thing. Dude, this movie, oh my God, it's just very original, man. I just loved it. I really did. I was pretty blown away by it. And it's one of those movies that within, and again, I'm not saying this is going to be it for everybody, but for me, within 3 to 5 minutes, I was like, eyes peeled, no other thoughts in the world. I'm in the movie theater. And again,
I love when a movie does that.
Fucking love blues guitar. Like, I love blues guitar.
Dude, when a movie has just good music, you know what I mean?
But it
makes it 10
this
and
is what's
11.
important to say. It's not just good. It's like my music.
Right.
And he's playing blues guitar. They're singing the blues. And it's in the movie theater. I'm like hitting Tori. I'm like, Tori, this is. I'm like losing my shit in the movie theater. I really did love it, and
Jake,
it was. So
I've never said this before in
me.
my life, but I wish I were to worry because she gets to just be next to you during all these things that make you feel this way, and I wish I could be there for it.
Dude, I honestly feel bad sometimes because I do turn into like a 5-year-old when I get excited.
No, people like that.
But dude, and just like it really was, it's a movie. If it's still in theaters, I really would recommend you to see it in theaters if you can.
It is funny you say that it's playing in Clearfield, and I thought about it.
Well, I'm super disappointed because it was set to do a decent IMAX run, and then Thunderbolts smacked it out. I really wanted to see it in IMAX.
I heard it's getting another run in IMAX. Actually, I heard
if it gets an IMAX run, I will be going to see it, even if I have to do it by myself.
I saw a quick article about it, like after the Thunderbolts run or something. They're going to put it in for another week or something.
Just for the music. I'm telling you, for me, again, I'm not saying that's everybody, but that's me.
Yeah.
Fuck, is it good, Chase? And again, how it could have been, honestly, it's something too, it's interesting. It left me wanting so much more because it could have been like the first half being what felt like a gangster movie. I want more of that. You won't ever get it, but they could have done another hour of a gangster movie and it would have been like, it feels like it would have been an all-time movie.
This movie didn't start failing because it's changed in the middle. Like, it just got better for it. Dude, it was already good. It kept being good.
I don't know. I won't say it got better necessarily. It just became so unique. That, fuck, is it good, dude?
I remember
it is good.
Opening night for that movie, my coworker Tanner saw it, and he came back the next day, and like this was like right as the movie was coming out, so I was just starting to hear that it was pretty good, and then somebody personally in my life told me it was good. He actually just texted us yesterday. It was like a thing saying that it was playing in a theater, I think near here. So I mean, he's been really saying like it's good, and now you and everybody like. I think I gotta go see
very
this
well
movie.
Shot. It's interesting. I don't know how to describe. It's something I need to work on, and I will. In movies, there's something about when a movie is well shot that I don't know what it is, but when it's happening, I think it's part of what makes you get so sucked in to it.
The cinematography of it.
Yes, that like there's these scenes, dude, and this is one of those scenes where I was losing my shit, where the two, this is early on in the movie, the two Michael B. Jordan brothers split up. And so it's the one, and then who I consider the main character, who I don't remember his name at the moment. It's the
Michael B. Jordan isn't the main character?
I guess he is. I don't know. It's weird. I guess it's kind of one of those things where there's a couple main characters. Is that fair?
That's fair.
It's weird.
Real time.
I guess I would consider the young boy, he's not like he's like, 18. But they are driving in like a
legal,
like a 1930s Ford vehicle. What'd you say?
I said legal. Instead of a young boy, he's legal.
So they're driving through cotton fields in this old vehicle. And at the time it's new, but like a 1930s Ford Model T type looking vehicle.
It's a new
the
Model
top's
T.
off, and he's playing blues guitar and singing as dude. And like this is the scene where I'm like, Tori, we're in the middle of something.
Yeah.
Like, I hope you're like, understand, this is happening. We're fucking watching this movie right now. Holy shit. We're here, baby.
Yeah.
I loved it, man. Yeah. Holy shit. I can't believe I didn't even think about talking about that. I wasn't even going to bring it up.
Especially when
That's
it was
funny.
I mean, it's been out a month or so now.
We saw it on Easter. That's why I hadn't thought about it. We saw it on Easter Day.
420.
Yeah.
It's funny. I might have to see if Miranda wants to
and
check it out.
The other thing we've been watching very briefly. Have you heard of Yellowjackets?
I have heard of it. I don't know much about it, but I've heard of it.
It's good. Basic premise. There's 2 timelines going on, like future or present and past, and
like free run.
Yeah, sure. And
like
in the
Monarch.
What's Monarch?
It's the Godzilla show on Apple Plus.
I've never seen it.
It's really good.
But yeah, like free run, whatever. And in the past, these girls, it's about this girls' soccer team. This is the end of the first episode. It's the whole premise of the show. Is that they are flying to nationals. They've won their state championship, this high school girls soccer team, and their plane goes down in the middle of the fucking like Rocky Mountains in the middle of nowhere in the 1990s. And they have to survive in the wilderness for a very long time. And they're not found for a while. And then in the present day,
in the 90s.
Well, in the present day, you see why they weren't found. In the present day, they're like 40, and they've got some shit going on now. We're like, I got my mom and her husband to watch it, and they passed us up like they watched it all
3
very
seasons,
quickly.
right?
It's
about
3 seasons. Yeah. You have to have Paramount Plus for seasons 2 and 3. You got them all.
This is my life.
Bought Paramount Plus. We bought Paramount Plus for this show. It's good, man. We've been watching it for a couple weeks
through
now.
like a Walmart subscription.
That's funny. It's good though, man. The first season is good, and people told me the second season falls off a little bit. I wouldn't say that. Just in the middle, you have an episode or two that's just not like a banger.
Right.
But man, it's compelling.
Yeah.
Which is that's all I'm ever looking for. It's something that like the next day I'm excited. I wake up, I do the shitty job that nobody wants to do, and I'm like, yeah, but I have that awesome ass thing to do at night, you know. So I'd recommend it. But I can't believe we got to talk about Sinners. It was good, Chase. It was good.
I'm gonna see it. And we're gonna follow this. This episode, in a lot of ways, is gonna have sequels to it because
100%. It's about to ruin my life. It's about to cost me a lot of money. This is brought to you by today's sponsor, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, original taste, delicious and refreshing. What more can you say? Atlanta, Georgia. Only soda that still uses the cacao leaf from, cocaine. Pepsi, can't do it. Can't get that taste the same. Oh, Lord, it slaps every time. Dude, let's talk about what I've got to say. And maybe now it's just because I'm in this world. This video game has taken the world by storm. I mean, so many people are into it. I can't talk to anybody who plays video games that isn't playing this game. I can't find anybody. It is so goddamn big, so good.
Yeah. And you know what's strange?
Let's get into it.
I feel like it's not a game for everybody, but for some reason,
it's not.
Everybody fucking loves it. And
I can tell you why.
Totally
I can tell you why. I can tell you why everybody's loving it.
Because
it's got something for everybody.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it exactly. Clair Obscur's Expedition 33. Jake,
continue.
I'm gonna let you mostly just go and comment on what you have to say. I'll get to my own shit eventually.
Give us some small background on the game first. Give us some background on the story of what's going on in the game. What are we doing? Well, can you do that? Or would you like me to do that?
We can both do that. We can bounce around. Go. Okay. You start it.
So the game starts, your character in what is very clearly some version of France, okay? Because you have an Eiffel Tower that's bent and obscured in some way.
Clair Obscur.
You have floating pieces of earth throughout the sky. It's very odd. And someone comes and gets you. You're this male character named Gustav.
We continue.
And he's getting flowers for you learn his ex-girlfriend that he is very clearly still in love with for her gommage. I've never heard of a gommage. Have you heard of a gommage?
Not until 3 weeks ago.
I assumed a gommage being like some kind of celebration of like. I knew nothing about this game, dude.
I knew this much at least.
I knew nothing about this game.
Great.
So,
oh god,
we go into her gommage. I'm thinking it's like because she's getting married to somebody. No, I'm thinking she's getting married to somebody else. Wow. So it's like a wedding shower, something like that. So you're taking flowers to her. I can't remember her name at this moment.
It's been a while since we talked to her.
As you follow through this world, this beautiful world, holy fuck, dude! Right, I have to even roll it back. Right away, first scene of the game. I'm immediately hooked on the visuals of this game. First scene. The flowers everywhere, leaves and flower petals floating from the sky. Are you serious? Who's doing this today? 2025? We're doing that? We're putting that kind of effort in this game. So you go down and everybody's meeting.
They put a lot of effort in this fucking game.
Oh my god! You're going down
every aspect. Sorry.
Let me know if I'm skipping something. But
you've started back farther than I would have. So,
but you go down to the pier and you meet her. I can't remember her name.
I cannot remember her name either, man.
She's turning 33.
Small part of the game,
And is it?
I mean,
but is it?
No, but
isn't it the whole point of the game?
You're right, but it is like it's story-wise.
I have to write down a note.
It's the beginning to what has been a massive game.
My phone is on 2%. I have to write down a note though. Yeah, story. I care. Okay, that's my note. Okay, so you learn through this scene that in the background you see a big tower with a big 3-3 on it. And you're like, okay, that's interesting. It's Expedition 33. As somebody who has no idea what's going on, like that's interesting. And you learn she's turning 33 momentarily, right? And as she turns 33, the woman he loves is right next to him.
Or I think she's turning 34, and when it hits 33, everybody who's 34 dies, or something like that.
Well, yeah, but they don't just die. She explodes and melts away into flower petals. It's so fucking incredible.
Looks like Infinity
and we don't even
War
know what the
flower
game's
petals.
about yet. We don't even know what's going on yet. Is that good? So, what's happening? We are Expedition 33. There are many expeditions that have come before us. What is the purpose of Expedition 33? We are to leave our island to go defeat the Paintress. Because the Paintress, it is believed, I don't exactly know why, even as far as I am into the game, it is not exactly known why the Paintress is the reason this has happened. But you know that things used to not always be this way.
Right.
And that the island they live on used to be part of a bigger main continent. And that is the continent that you are going back to defeat the Paintress. And there have been many expeditions before you, and they've all failed, and everybody has all died on every expedition. But these people go on these expeditions to try to save lives because that number ticks down.
Yes.
That number ticks down. You know what I mean? It's 33 right now.
100, right?
And I don't know.
Or started at 00, I guess, and then went. I think,
and it's ticking more and more where the people will be dying younger and younger.
Yes.
So we are on that expedition. The beginning of the expedition. I just got to set the scene very quickly.
Yeah,
we're going over. We are Gustav. At this point, I'm like, this is interesting. We land on shore, and before you go on the expedition, you're in a little scene where this festival is still kind of taking place, but the expeditioners are kind of gathered, so you meet some other expeditioners.
Yeah. Group of 33
year-olds. Yes. Well, when you get there, they all fucking die.
Basically.
Everybody fucking dies.
Right away.
Fucking, they're all dead.
A guy
Everybody's
just shows
down.
up, kills. You don't know who's alive.
Kills everybody.
Basically everybody. Not everybody.
Yeah.
But
not everybody, because there's some characters still.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good scene set.
Yeah.
So now we are on this island. We are Gustav. We have survived.
Yes.
And we're trying to take our next steps.
Yes. And we are going on this expedition in this world to kill the paintress and save humanity, basically,
We
is
continue.
the original premise to the beginning of the game. What happens after that? So many things.
We'll talk more about it.
Yeah. So let's say
talk gameplay.
Let's say up front. I've just started Act 3. Jake is near the end of Act 2.
Am I?
So you're closing in. You're closing in.
Don't say that, dude.
You're close. Don't worry. I say that saying you probably have 6 or 7 hours of video game.
Okay.
Still.
Because I beat what did I just beat? What was that? The Visage?
Visage Island.
I went to the other side of the continent because I was afraid I was getting too far. I just started exploring.
Yeah.
Like endlessly. I found a mini game. I found a new mini game.
There's lots of those. So we're in that ground. Okay. So this episode, we're not going to get past anything story. We're not even going to talk too much story wise, other than what Jake just said. But we won't go anywhere past the third act or second act, and we're going to follow this up on another episode with the third act and the rest of the story. Because let me tell you, man, just the way the third act, dude, you're not ready for Act 3. You're not ready for the twist the story takes at the end of Act 2.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
This is my only concern about this game.
Okay.
And I know we're kind of ruining the flow of conversation here.
Yeah.
But this is for me, and I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs to understand how much I love this game. Do the highs of Act 2 reach the highs of Act 1, the ending? I am concerned that nothing will ever touch what happened at the end of Act 1.
I think you will be shocked by the way Act 2 ends then.
I just want to say,
honestly, I wish like I didn't pass the information on that there even was an Act 3, because like if you thought Act 2 ended and it was like the end of the game, you would be like, what the fuck is this? It would probably blow your mind more.
I will not say at all, of course, what happens at the end of Act 1.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say, it is a 10 to 15 minute cutscene.
It is pretty long.
After a boss fight that I found incredibly difficult. I don't find video games difficult. Mm-hmm. It took me over 2 hours to beat it. Mm-hmm. It took me over 2 hours to beat it, which I love that.
Yeah.
The cutscene, I made Tori come downstairs and watch it, and I am yelling and screaming during it because I was so pumped.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like a 15-minute cutscene. It's a fucking episode of television in the middle of my video game.
It's like an episode of Bluey.
Good.
Yeah.
And I care. Okay, back to the beginning. Sorry.
I think everything that happens at the end of Act 2 and the beginning of Act 3 is gonna just make you like be like this.
Dude, I might have to save it for the weekend.
It's so. Just remember that I said this. It reminds me of Attack on Titan a little. And you'll understand that when you get there. You're not far.
Okay. Let's roll it back. Let's talk about the gameplay.
The gameplay. What makes this game
gameplay, dude?
Really the thing that makes you want to do it. Fuck, man.
But I will say this.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just the gameplay. Mm-hmm. That's why I think so many people are into it, because I could tell somebody that has never played a turn-based JRPG like myself. Mm-hmm. I can say to them, listen, I don't care if you don't like turn-based games. The story is good enough that it is worth it. Mm-hmm. That's all. Back to the gameplay.
It's literally, it's one of the best turn-based.
It's going to be a movie.
Systems.
It's going to be a movie.
It's going to
be a movie.
We've been texting a lot back and forth about this game and our experience, and a lot of those conversations become like, tell me more games like this. And the crazy thing about this game that I keep saying is like, this game, dude, is such a mix. It's such a melting pot of many different kinds of games. I can't even say any other game specifically that is like it in every way, because it blended so many great things about other games of this era and throughout the history of gaming into one game. And it's done. Everything is done to a 10. To me, this game is a 10. Every day I play this game, I think to myself, I'm going to remember this as I'm currently playing a game that will be remembered as one of my favorite games of all time.
It's so good that I don't want to play it if I'm not in a perfect mood.
Fair.
Because I don't want to misappreciate any I don't want to. Well, no, I also don't want to misappreciate any single section of the game because I feel the same way that I'm like, I'm in a moment right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's the best way to put it. I have posted on Reddit for the first time in my life saying, listen, people, I'm in this game.
Play this fucking game.
No, I'm saying, listen, I'm in this game and I love it so much. My fear is, what am I going to do after this? I need people to give me recommendations. And the top response was, buddy, the problem is you started your heroin addiction with fentanyl.
Right.
Everything is just going backwards.
I'm going to look for this Reddit post. I'm gonna.
Everything is just going backwards from there. Like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me talk about the gameplay mechanics and why I find it to be okay. So the only other turn-based game I have ever played is Pokemon. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the problem is Pokemon. It's impossible to objectively evaluate Pokemon games because we started playing them when we were 4 or 5 years old. Like, it's a nostalgia for me that, like, I'll just love them. It just is what it is. So I don't know.
They're good turn-based games though too.
But but what gets me here in making me love the turn-based part is that the dodging and parrying system, like having turn-based, but also this incredible skill format in it, for me. So I think it's important, and you and I have never talked about this. Yeah. I do have a video game background, okay? It's just not in these games.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So this is an important fun fact you don't know about me. In 2016, before my midterms came up, I was the 38th ranked player in the world at NHL. Okay, I don't know if you know this about me.
I didn't know that. No.
Okay, so I love, like, I don't know how to describe it. I do love hard video games. Like, I find that shit fun, you know? And so for me, adding in this element of the dodging and parrying, and it's not easy. Like, it's really not easy to dodge and parry.
No.
On top of that, you have each of these characters, maybe this is reeling it back a bit, each of these characters has their own individual gimmick or style. And the style not being, this character's a tank, this character does damage.
Oh yeah, it's very unique.
It's so much more than that.
Each character has their own
Gustav has, very quickly, Gustav has this thing called overcharge, which is one of his skills that as you do more attacks, it's building up this overcharge that when you use this skill, it does more damage. Mael has different stances. And so she's got a defensive stance.
Tank.
How cool. So she has a defensive stance, and then she has an offensive stance, and then she has stanceless, and then she has virtuoso.
Stance.
And each move you do cycles through those different stances. So you have to play it correctly where, okay, I want to get to my virtuous stance and I want to have enough AP where I can do my highest damage move because that's when she does it. And then, but I want to make sure I switch back to defensive because I know this asshole is about to do like these really difficult to counter moves. You have Loon. Those are the only 3 characters we'll talk about. You have Loon, who she's a mage, but with each skill she uses, she develops what they call a stain. So there's fire stain, an earth stain, an ice stain, and electric stain. And those stains, each move consumes different stains to power them up further. So you're kind of trying to play around having the right stain so that you do more damage. Like
mayhem.
And there's more characters we won't get into. Right. How is Mayhem? Is Mayhem the one where she does them all, or are you just saying that?
she uses whatever the you have.
And that's so good. It's such a good move. Yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of these like little let's call them character builds, let's call them job systems that these characters have. When you're reading the tutorial for them, when you're first, like even us just talking about it, it sounds like it's complicated, and it kind of is. But once you get it, you get it quick. Like I remember with Mael, I was like, I'm never gonna get this, and then like as soon as I did, not only is it great, but it's fun. It's fun to play. Every character has their own little game that you have to play for them,
and very important. It's a good point, because when I showed it to Tori, I was at the end of Act 1, and I was like, I think you have to play this game.
I cannot imagine.
And she was like, I could never. She's like, I could never understand what you're doing. And I'm like, listen, you can, because we're explaining the game does a good job of spreading out when you receive these characters. So you're not trying to learn multiple characters at once.
And every one of them get a tutorial.
Every one of them gets a tutorial
an optional
that teaches
tutorial.
you.
Like, you want to know how to play this
An
character?
optional tutorial that teaches you.
Yeah.
But it's spread out so perfectly that I never once felt overwhelmed by a new character. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I've learned the last character by the time I get the new character. Does that make sense?
It's funny you say that, because this game does the same thing with just like adding to what's going on in battles. The way it sprinkles like different ways that battles are going to go. Like, first you're just learning basic battles, and once you get the hang of that, it's like, okay, now parry and dodge. All right, you got that? Okay. You know, now there's the slow-mo parry. I can't even remember what it's called.
Gradient.
Gradient
attacks. Is where I took it to. Gradient, I talked to somebody else about this game,
Yeah.
a guy who I'm not even really friends with. It's one of Tori's coworkers.
Ew.
And he works with all women.
Ew.
He works with all women,
Ugh.
and I was like, and I knew he played it, and I knew he beat it. I was like, Tori, get that man on FaceTime with me.
Yeah.
But the gradient attacks, like, dude, you're in the middle of the game, and at this point, you're like, okay,
it's hard enough.
More of it's like, okay, I've done it all, right? Like, now it's just about the story. I've learned every battle mechanic.
Yeah.
And then they add gradient.
Yep.
And you're
never really entirely comfortable. Like, they're not going to throw something else new at you.
And at first, the gradient is a type of move that an opponent will do to you. It's like a big, powerful move, and you have gradient counters, and it makes a different screen when it's doing it. So at first, it's fairly obvious when it's going to come, but then you fight Nexians, or what are they called?
Axions.
You fight Axions that in the middle. So they have two combos that look very similar, but in one of them, it throws a gradient attack.
Oh, yeah.
That you're so not fucking ready for.
Yeah.
And then when you do a gradient
counter, you have to read what they're doing.
Each player, and it's also not just like a basic parry. Each player has their own gradient combo, like their own gradient counters that God, it's so badass. It's so good, dude. And you
can learn more. You can get more different ones from interacting with your party.
It's so good. So then it's more, so then it's another layer of like, okay, because then you get gradient attacks that it's like, okay, am I going to use this person's gradient? So
am I going to save it? Am I going to build it up?
The gradient attack bar is for the whole party, so you can only use one. And you're like, am I using it on this character or this character? Man, it is so good.
And I just want to say, everything we're talking about right now is just the combat system gameplay.
Just the combat system. I can talk more about the combat system.
Else. Oh, yeah, we're gonna.
I can talk more about the combat system. I really believe, man, so the game, just like any other turn-based combat, is using AP, which is like your mana. So let's actually just divert off that. There's more to the character builds. You get weapons and the weapons have abilities. There's these things called Luminas and Pictos, and these all build off.
Great system.
It's so good, and it's like, it's abilities that you put on characters. So like the one that's very important to me is +1 AP at battle start.
Great.
Right? That's like the most important one for me.
Yes.
Of course. Right. So you get this Picto and you're like, oh shit, which character am I going to put it on? Like, this is so important. Turns out, if you win 5 fights with it, you can put it on every character.
Because you have your luminous.
What I love about it is it's a system that, for me, I have a tendency to get overwhelmed by options as a person.
Okay. Yeah.
If I have too many options, I'm just worried I'm not going to do it perfectly. I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
But what this game has done is it's made it where you have options, but it's not complicated. It doesn't feel like the Pictos and the Luminas don't feel complicated to me. They're very simplified, but giving you choice.
It sounds complicated at first, and then once you start doing it, you're like,
you're not. But what it's doing is it's just giving you choice to customize your character. So, for instance, one of them is there's a tank in the game who you get later. I'm not going to say his name, and I have a Picto on him that. So one Picto is Dodger. So you get +1 AP on perfect dodges. Okay.
Great one.
Well, I have a Picto on him And for everybody, this is just general. If you parry, you get +1 AP. But there's a Picto that instead of getting +1 AP on a parry, you get +1 AP every time you take damage. So on the so the point is, it gives you this ability to customize in a way that I don't feel is overwhelming, and I don't feel options you to death. Like, it doesn't give you too many options. It just adds to the combat system. And what's really nice about the Pictos and the Luminas is you can change them every time you want to fight if you want to. So, like, I just fought a boss where I was getting hit too much and I couldn't dodge. So I put that Picto on everybody that was like, hey, I can't parry this guy. I just can't do it. So every time I get hit, I'm getting +1 AP on all my characters.
Very smart. Because there's a lot. They give you so many to choose from, and it balances. You can't just fucking overwhelm a character. But
it does
if you
balance.
know how to play them,
points.
if you know how to like combine them just right, you feel like a fucking, especially in that.
But you don't
from fight to fight.
They don't overpower you. I think that's an important what you're trying to say a little bit, and I think that is important to note. You don't feel overpowered with them.
No.
There's only one character that I think is overpowered in the game, so that's a different conversation.
Who do you think that is?
You know who I think it is.
Is it Mael?
No, I don't think I don't find her to be broken. I find
Seal.
No, we're not saying that character. Seal is broken, dude. I think she is fucking broken. I don't take her into fights sometimes because I'm like, she's going to make it too easy. She has a move.
I need to play around with my Seal more because I don't feel that way.
There's a move where you can put
I love her as a
on every character. I can 2-turn most like 3-man groups with her if they don't have shields. Wow. She is so unbelievably good.
I need to stack her up then.
She's my favorite character, but I've had to quit using her because honestly, with like 3-man, like I find her to be broken. I really do. Okay, you want to talk about characters a little bit? In that room.
I want to talk. I want to talk a little more about gameplay, and then we can talk about characters. Because I want to go outside of the combat system as well, because I kind of want to touch on like I said, it's a melting pot of so many games, and I kind of want to touch on what these games are, because just in the combat world, I say it's very Paper Mario meets Persona meets like. I don't even know, like meets like Sekiro type of like parry and dodge system. And that's just in the combat realm. And then there's like the potion system and the flag system and the respawn system that borrows from like the Dark Souls games where like, if you rest, all the bad guys come back to life, so you have to fight them again. But it's different because it puts you into a turn-based system. But like in your potions, you're not going to shops to buy potions. No, you have a set amount that you can upgrade to get more of potions, revives, and basically AP builder, and those restore every time you rest. And I just think that's such a genius way to do that. Like at first I was like, ooh, do I really have enough revives? But once I started getting more things to build on that, to upgrade those things, I was like, this is great. Like it's a system that like not in every game I love that it's in, where like you rest and then everything respawns back to life. It's one I've played. It's one I've seen in multiple games. In this one, I think it works so well. I never feel like, yes, I'm resting, and yes, I'm getting all my stuff back, and the game's like, you have to fight things over again, and that's like taxing. But I'm like, it's actually not taxing. I want to fight these things again.
You know what it is? I don't know how they've done it. It's so hard to explain. They have that system you explain. It's such a good point. I have not really thought about it, but you're so right. It makes the game not too easy, but not too hard in the sense of like, you know what I mean? Like I never, you're right though. It's an interesting system. I haven't thought about that. But it does balance it perfectly, right? It's not too hard and not too easy because of that.
All the best elements of these games into one game. And I cannot tell you, man. I think I said it to you when we first started talking about it. I'm like, this is for me personally, as turn-based RPGs being one of my 3 favorite genres of video games, it's a wet dream for us because it's such, it's like the best. It's so fucking good. It's taking all those things and putting it in this.
Yeah, it just feels like, package. Again, I haven't really played these games, but it just feels like these people have played all of them and are geniuses and said, what are the best parts of them all? Like what are, and like, they've said pretty openly they took even the way that you, so when you attack, a circle, like a diamond comes up, and you have to click A at a point. Like, they've pretty openly said they took that from Lost Odyssey. Like, they're just like, here's a very specific game that influenced us on this piece. You know what I mean? Like, they just,
looking at the stances and in just the combat mode, like the way that's designed, it's very Persona / Metaphor game. Like, it's that they've just like. And that's what, when I first saw a preview for this thing, I was like, this looks pretty sick. Like, this looks like going to be good. I remember we were sitting at the Dented Keg. We were all talking. You were there. It was your birthday. I was on my phone watching the Xbox thing. And I was just like, oh, I don't know anything about this, but I'm keeping my eye on this.
How funny that the day before it comes out, I'm like, dude, have you seen about this? And dude. I told my friend Andrew that, and he goes, buddy, don't try to fucking tell us video game people about what's going on. We've known about this. And I'm like, well, shit, I just saw about it and people were raving about it right before it came out.
When I saw those reviews, I was like...
Another thing in that same we didn't talk about is that the players have skill trees. That you unlock all kinds of different kind of skills and you can take them in different directions on how you want to build them, which is neat. And something that I love that I had messaged you about really early on. Again, I have a penance for perfection that ruins my life. And I was not spending my points to buy skills because I was so worried about making sure I had the perfect build.
You were so stressed. I was a little worried. I was like, because I was farther than you. I was like,
you will lose
me
on stuff like that. It fucks me up.
He's going to struggle later on if he doesn't get over this.
What they have done, and I just love it so much. And it makes me, I just don't want to feel stressed in this way. Like, I already stress like that in my own life. They give you a way to reset it, and it's called a recoat, and you can't get it easily, but you don't get one.
You get two. I feel like I have
you get enough.
More than enough.
You get enough, right?
You can buy them at shops.
But only one at a time from each shop.
I've never used one, so I have
I've never used one either because I also have this problem. But I also have this problem that I just need to know that I can. So I have 15 of them because I've found a way. I found that if you beat these certain groups, they will drop them if you beat them enough times. So kind of early on in the game, I fought this one group a lot, and got a couple, so I felt better. But that's an awesome.
That's classic
mechanic,
JRPG style. Don't be ashamed that you did that. Grinding is part of the game.
But it makes me feel better that I'm like, okay, I can be free now because if I need to, I'll fucking start over. How awesome is that? Okay, little stuff that I love about this game that might not be little. Okay, listen, dude, I don't have a child. I'm not as busy as you in that regard. But I'm also not 19 at college, okay? I have shit going on.
You're not the 36th best fucking NHL player in the world anymore.
38th. I did beat the number 3 ranked guy at one point. I was very good. And if I didn't have to become a lawyer, I would have been number 1. Pausable cutscenes. You can pause the cutscenes.
The game rewards you for... Oh, yeah.
Like in a cutscene, I can press pause, and if I have some shit going on, I can step away and come right back. I had an emergency happen during that Act 1 cutscene.
Oh, no.
And I had an emergency happen. Okay?
So did they.
Well, I'm saying, what happens if I'm playing one of these games? I had to get up and leave my TV. What do I do? But no, these motherfuckers, they let me pause. You don't know how big that is for me, dude. That's so...
I will say this. If you do ever run into a problem like that with a game that doesn't have that function, you can't just go on YouTube and watch the cutscene you missed.
I know. I thought of that.
Keep that in mind.
I will keep that in mind. But is it the same?
No, it's fantastic. Because let me tell you what, dude.
70-inch TV.
You're going to be playing Final Fantasy games pretty soon. Final Fantasy X, no matter what version of it you get, does not have that.
Well, I've just decided that when I play these games, there are no emergencies anymore. This is just what I do now. So the emergency is going to have to wait. Other thing that I find very important for me as a person, I'm not saying it's for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The new thing in games is open world games. And I get that. I understand why people love it. When I was a kid, like the first open world game we had was like GTA, you know, and I loved that.
Yeah.
Of course, I was playing GTA when I was like 8. Probably not good.
Yeah,
I am not a huge open world game guy. Okay, now, okay, so like, but for me,
I like
it's
them,
even. But so for me, even like Zelda, okay, like
new Zelda.
Yeah. I don't want to say I get lost, but I just get like there's just too much going on. I'm like over inundated with shit.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of it is shit. Like it's shit. Like it's unnecessary, like random bad guys that I don't need to fight that are in my way. I'm just like, wait, I just feel like I'm wasting time.
Sure.
In a way that I don't want to be. That is how I feel in a lot of open world games. This fucking game, dude.
Yeah.
It has an open world element on the continent, okay? But when I need to be doing something, there's an obvious direction that I'm supposed to be going, that it leads me while still being, this is important, it's not like, here's a big arrow, go this way. It is using like, you know, like a lot of it's like lamps or lights or something, like more like classic stuff that I would see when I was younger to be like, this is the way that you like need to go.
Yeah.
But there are side ways that you can go and get shit done, like cool stuff, like little add-ons. And I'm doing all the
side things are good. Yep.
All the side things are amazing.
Fun,
it's
great.
Bosses that you wouldn't fight otherwise that are difficult and fun.
You get items and shit for doing it.
You get Yep, but for me, it helps so much to be like, yeah, once I'm done with that, I know exactly where I need to be. And I know that all these mobs of guys I'm spending all this time fighting, it is for a direction that I'm going. That is like, it sounds little, and if you explained it to somebody who's not played video games, they'd be like, okay, but it just makes the quality of life better. Do you agree?
I agree because, well, it's not, so you have the overworld, the open world portion that is like you just described, but I also love how like, even when you go into like, when you leave the overworld to go to specific areas, those areas are, you know, it's a game that it's rather linear, but it feels big in each of those, let's call them levels. So there's
100%.
and there's no, you don't have a mini map when you're in those levels. So you just kind of have to bob and weave through it. There's a lot to do. So even though it's not an open world game, it gives you on both the overworld and the level areas this kind of freedom to explore around.
For me,
in each place.
I really feel like
opens up a lot in Act 3.
You get the benefits of open world without my personal flaws of the open world. Because I do find there to be flaws in open world, and I don't think you get those here. I you know, like every mob, even in the open world, if you fight a mob for the first time, there's something behind it to get. Whether it's a color of Lumina or, you know, something is there, chroma, anything.
This game really rewards you for just looking around and doing other things, which I really love. That makes you want to keep doing things.
That's a great point.
You get like
it's
something,
not. I feel rewarded for it. I feel rewarded for it versus like, oh, I'm just fucking off. Yeah. Like I'm a person. I need like I can't just fuck off. I'm not good at it. So yeah, it just feels rewarding for looking around. That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
And that's like where, like, I'm not gonna get too much into it, and that's a little where I'm having trouble with Act 3, because Act 3 kind of, it does this thing more of where like you're able to go to so many more parts of the map, but it's it's like the beginning of the Breath of the Wild. It's like your objective, go kill Ganon, but it's like you got to play this whole game before you go kill Ganon. So right now it's like, go do this, but you're kind of open to just go anywhere. And that's where I've been kind of struggling is like, either things are too easy or they're way too hard. And I'm just trying to like catch my footing again. I think once I catch my footing, I'll be happier for it. But it changes a little the way like everything we're talking about right now.
Interesting.
Come the third act.
So the other night for open world stuff that it's like, if you're worried about it, I was just exploring and I found a fucking jump puzzle that I did for an hour, you know, like
Yeah.
And by the way, it was fucking sick.
Yeah.
The jump puzzle was sick, and I loved it.
I bet
it was cool. You didn't find it?
I don't know if I did. I do a jump puzzle. I did like a race.
You would know. It's a gigantic jump puzzle.
I don't think I did.
And it's hard.
I think there's a lot of stuff. Like I did a lot of side stuff. I don't know if I did everything. I think there were things I just sort of missed. But in Act 3, it kind of gives you the ability to just go anywhere again. So I'll probably go back and start doing.
Have you unlocked diving yet?
No.
There's diving.
I see there's diving, but I don't have it.
Yeah, I found that.
Oh, you find it? Jeez, huh?
I haven't found the diving ability. I have found the
places.
spots.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Of course, they're gonna give you.
In
the
Act
diving.
3, you get flying, and it helps a lot.
So that will make me feel better.
Just you fucking.
But flying will make me feel better. I have. Again, it's a personal thing of like
they need an auto locate.
Seeing stuff from over the top makes me feel better. I don't know what it is.
No,
okay.
It's So look forward to that when you get there. But
can we talk something else?
Sure. Yeah.
The story.
Mm-hmm.
The story of this game. Okay. Yeah. Listen, this is important to me, and this is no spoilers. You go from me personally. Where I was like, the end of Act 1, I'm sure for a lot of people, is where you're like, hey, this is special. Like, whatever this is, this game is special. It's not just playing the game. Like, for me, I'm like, this is an incredible story. I'm a story person. I read books. That's all I do.
Until this game came out. Then he stopped reading books.
I feel like I'm reading a book. That's how good the story really is for me. I go from at the end of Act 1 to being like, oh, I need to know what happens in this story, to, oh my God, I care about this story so much. Not I want to know what happens, but that I care. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like, no, I'm not just playing this game to figure this out. I got to save these motherfuckers. I got to save these people. I got to fix this world. Like, we've got to fix this. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal, man. Yeah. For me, that's a big difference of like, no, we got to fix this world.
You love these people. I think the game and the way the story's told and the way the characters are presented, it does a really good job of kind of balancing somber. Like the whole thing it's dark, but it has such goofy light moments that it's like life in general. It's like a metaphor for life. Like life is pretty serious when you think about it, but it's these little happy moments that make life worth living. And the game shows those moments with the characters. Like they're on a mission to save themselves from basically being like dusted by Thanos, and they still have time to like joke around.
And everybody who has ever done this mission, they're dead.
Yeah.
By the way, you do a part of the game
you came with
where you find, and by the way, you do a part of the game where you find thousands of dead expeditioners. So, like, it is very somber, but it builds the characters in a different way to have these fun, lighthearted moments, right? Like, it makes them, humanizes them, right? Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So,
it makes
something
it feel so
cool
lifelike.
Something cool that the game does is, again, just another thing that I haven't seen before personally. I don't play this kind of things. Like you get to the flags where you can rest and change your attributes and your skills, but there's also the camp. Mm-hmm. And at the camp, everybody's around a campfire and you can interact with each character individually and you can have personal moments with them. And that is a lot of where their personality is developed at times, right? And that is so cool. 3. And they're cutscenes.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And you get reward. You get special abilities for getting a better relationship with your party members. And it's a cool. And that's also where you go to kind of upgrade your weapons and upgrade your potions and stuff, or how many Lumineers or whatever they're called, Luminas. Yeah, it's cool. And you can save there, and you can go there basically anytime you're on the overworld, anytime you want. Go camp.
Go to camp.
You can heal, do all, and get all this out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really great. Really great.
Yeah. What else?
What else? Give me a second to recollect, because I feel like I was going to say something before we went to camp.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm ripping too fast.
Oh, no, you're good.
We were talking about the story, and I'm trying to find a way to like explain how good the story is without giving anything away. But man, it's twists and turns, and it's developed in a way it's super interesting where it's developed in a way that, and it's where it's genius, is they've got you thrown in where you're like, okay, we're on the expedition to save the people. And they're slowly giving you nuggets of information to make the story so much more than what it originally is. You know, I think a lot of games it stops right at, hey, we gotta go save it.
Mm-hmm.
Versus now, it's like, man, each of these characters is their own person, and you're so interested. Like, again, I'm halfway through the game, and I have no idea what has caused any of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's another thing. It's not one of the longer games, but I feel it like I've just reached about a little over 30 hours where I'm at, like gameplay wise.
Yeah.
That's with just saves. Like I've played bigger games, longer games, but this game has felt like in my head, I'm like, I can't believe I've only started Act 3 like this far. Like, oh my God, this game has so much meat on the bone.
Yeah. Is it because I think it's in part, I feel the same way.
Mixed with the meat.
I think it's the pacing.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's the pacing, not just of the story, but of like what you're able to do even side story wise. Like it's just, it just feels like
it all just feels very rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very rewarding, right? Mm-hmm. Man, I have everybody playing this game. Man, I have everybody playing it. Well. People that don't play these games.
I'd be remiss. A couple things we need to touch on. A couple things still. One, SKA. I'd be remiss to not bring up SKA. How much do you love SKA?
Dude, it's like how fucking touching, small spoiler, it's not a spoiler at all, how touching when he gets the 33 band on his head. Touching, dude. It's touching.
It's exactly.
Touching.
This game hits you on every level.
Don't
with every
she?
Character.
Doesn't he remind you of Swampy?
He reminds... Not until you just said it, but yeah, I would agree. He has a lot in common
Mael's
with
always
Swampy.
Cuddled up with him. Yeah. Mael's always cuddled up with him.
He's like a Swampy meets Baymax type of like character, and I love him. I love SKA. I love SKA.
Yeah, everybody loves SKA.
And I've been loving him the whole time. Nas has been ahead of me. One day he just texted me randomly and was like, "SKA is the fucking man," and I'm just like, "He is." Yeah. Though. I can't disagree.
You're not wrong.
So we got to bring out SKA for the listeners who haven't played. He's basically like this big fucking being that you can ride on that like makes you move faster in the overworld, and he can swim and he can fly and he can do all these things. He's a character. He's just always behind you randomly at times. He's great. Love SKA.
His personality is like very spacey, very spacey and cloudy with like but he's funny. With like little bits of wisdom put in there. And also, and this doesn't matter at all, it's thrown in there that he's also the most powerful being in the universe.
Correct. Yeah. Like you're almost wondering, but I guess he just doesn't do any of the fighting. But yeah.
You're like, but I'm getting my ass beat by the Lamp Master. I'm like, where is SKA, dude?
SKA, could you just show up and kick this guy real quick? Yeah.
SKA. A little bit of help, bud.
And I have to talk about this because it's what I thought from day one. It's what I think every day that I play this fucking game. The music. I was getting there.
Of course.
Fucking game, dude. From just the somber to the battle to the exciting moment, everything. All the battle music. I couldn't stop thinking of the first like couple levels of battle music that weekend the game came out. It was so fucking good. And every certain area has its own everything.
There is a point pretty early on, not right at the beginning, but I think it's in like Flying Water.
Yes, that, I would agree that the battle music there is the shit.
Well, there's just like you go from at one point, I don't even know how they've done this, that you go at one point from like pretty like relaxed, somber style music when you're walking around to you go into a fight that drops into like an EDM or techno style rave music, and it fucking works. It doesn't feel jarring. It gets you pumped, but it doesn't feel jarring.
It fits with the graphics and the way the scene is presented and the way the battle flows.
But how have you done this? And this came from, this is what we have to talk about when we talk about the music. Just the same as the developing team is not very big. The writer came from Reddit. The music came from a SoundCloud artist. Are we serious? Come on, man.
See what happens when you just let artists fucking get together and cook? They master the genre.
Let's stay on the music for a second. It really is wonderful. This is again how you know this game has I'm happy because I don't feel like it's just in the gamer world. It is transpired. It's gone beyond that because part of my YouTube algorithm is guitar. And dude, some of my big classical guitar guys I learned from, they are writing these, they're taking these songs and transposing them to guitar. A lot of the piano songs. Dude, that means it is like pushing. Some of the songs have hit #1 on the classical music charts.
It's just
it's
good.
like it has. It's not.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying.
Incredible?
Like, I'm not surprised.
Isn't that incredible though? And of course, like there's not a lot of classical music coming out, but it's still amazing. Like how fucking cool. My dream for this is that I guess I hope we're making more JRPGs, but that we have more of just like, yeah, like, hey, can we just quit throwing all of our fucking money into Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty? You know what I mean? Like, isn't this the sign? And you know what the worst part is? It won't be for them. But man,
not entirely. But I think you'll see a shift. I mean, not entirely like that, but
entirely.
I think you'll see something. One thing that I can say is like a game like this released, and it's like it's $50. It was on sale all the first.
How crazy,
like, right? And they want to charge
and on
70,
Game Pass
80.
for free.
Yeah, which
on Game Pass for free,
exactly. But like,
and it's the best game
unheard of these
days. It's the best game you have played. While every other, and it came out right at the same time where they were like, hey, Xbox games, PlayStation games are going up to $80. Switch 2 games are going to be $90, I think.
80.
Consoles are all going to be more expensive. And they're like, yeah, well, we're going to put out what feels like, it just feels like the best of everything. It's the best graphics. It's the best music. It's the best gameplay. And they're like, yeah, we'll give it to you for fucking cheaper. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Dude, it is so fucking big. The president of France has commented upon it. Did you see this? Macron?
No, I did not.
Dude, he called it a shining example of French audacity and creativity. The president!
Yeah.
That's big deal.
That's a huge deal.
I don't know how many copies they've sold. I saw at 1.2. I saw over 2 million within the first 2 weeks. I remember 2 million is a lot of fucking copies, dude.
I think it's up to 10 at this point.
What?
I think I saw that.
Dude, let's Google it. That's crazy.
Yeah, for something that came from a no-name company that only people.
This doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, not often, and not to this degree.
Struggling to sell in Japan. Interesting.
Everything is right now.
Yeah. So expected to sell 10 million copies. Yep.
I figured I was closing in.
Wow.
Or something like
How much money is that? 50. So is that 500 million?
Well, here's the thing, dude. That does not include people that are playing it on Game Pass as well.
That's $500 million.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I could see it struggling in Japan, maybe in part just because it doesn't have like the typical Japanese style in some ways, right? Like the characters, maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
Like they don't look like Final Fantasy characters.
No. Well, maybe a little.
But I'm just saying maybe that's part of it, right? And it doesn't have like the animation style of like Persona and.
No, yeah, it's not. It's more
so maybe that's part of it.
Like, yeah, it looks more real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can finish it up with saying, if you want, we can finish it up by saying, this has taken over my banking account because now I'm like, well, I have a myriad of games to play that I've got to go catch up on.
Yeah, you certainly
and
do.
I'm going to have to buy a PlayStation 5.
I'm trying to help you guide your way through that, but
I'm obsessed with trying to play the new Final Fantasy VII games.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with trying to play them.
Yeah, you'll like them.
Yeah.
You'll like them. Very different. I mean, they're not turn-based, but they're good.
Yeah.
They're like pseudo turn-based.
I've been waiting to ask very quickly. I've seen some people say that you should play the original Final Fantasy VII first and then play those remakes. I don't know how I feel about that.
Could. I mean, you could, but I don't know if you have to.
Yeah, it seems like a lot.
I don't see why not.
Seems like a lot,
The original's good. The original one's turn-based, so I guess you get that, but I don't know. But I will continue to keep guiding you through like good choices for games. I'm telling you, man, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door has that same parry, dodge, battle mechanic, AP.
I know, but there's that. I don't know that I can do the like style. I don't know.
I understand that. I used to be that way. But then
I don't know that I'll be able to.
One day I started just
enlightened,
loving substance over style, and it made the style better for it. So maybe you'll get there too. I don't know. But yeah, I think you've stumbled. Like I said, JRPGs, turn-based RPGs are one of my 3 top favorite genres of video games. I'm so happy that you're like getting into outside of just Pokemon. And I can't wait to like give you ones to try that I think are some of my like all-time faves.
Yeah, my plans are Metaphor and Persona.
Yeah,
you know, those are. I'm thinking one of those might come next, or it's going to be Final Fantasy X,
which is one that I just played that I thought was really good.
I know, and when I watched it as a kid, it fucking blew my mind. Yeah. So,
and it has a lot of similar, like where Expedition kind of is the upgraded version of Final Fantasy X in a lot of its combat ways. Like there's things from Final Fantasy X that evolved into what is in Expedition 33 that I think you'll appreciate in this backwards way that you're kind of playing.
Yeah, again, Fentanyl first. Yeah.
Title of the episode. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, I know. No, those I will get good nostalgia from 7 and 10.
I think so.
Even though I didn't play them, I will get that nostalgia because I watched them played so much.
Yeah.
Again, I told you, we can end soon. I told you when I was watching a literal like 20-second clip of someone playing the original Final Fantasy VII game, and the music of when went about,
I did a Zelda one.
You have it. You kind of but yes. When that when that there you go. When that hit, dude, it took my brain to like a those.
You were a little boy.
Yes, those things that are hard to get back to that I never would have been there if I didn't. Yeah, it was interesting.
I love that for you.
Yeah. So I'm in on this. In on this. It's ruining my money. It's ruining my reading.
Yes.
At the end of the year, my reading stats matter to me. How many books I've read, that's ruined already.
That's gonna take a hit. Yeah.
Oh, it's fucked. It's fucked.
Love it.
Because I'm also trying to play this game very slowly.
Yeah.
And drag it out. So. Yeah. Clair Obscur is the French translation of the Italian word chiaroscuro, an art style that emphasizes the difference between light and dark.
Thank God you told me that because I had no idea what that shit was about.
That's what it is. So cool. Emphasizes the difference between light and dark.
Love it.
An art style.
I love that.
That's an interesting because it is like it's all black and whites. At those times. Interesting.
Yeah. So much more I want to talk about that, but we do have to kind of.
We're
gonna
do another episode.
Yeah. So Jake and I are gonna finish this game. Hope maybe by the next time we record, because this is kind of the schedule. This episode's coming out, and then there's a Fight Club episode that Ernie and I recorded that is coming out after that. So it'll be mid-June by the time Jake and I record again, and we'll probably have finished this game or at least gotten close to the end by that point.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
So we'll talk about the stories ending and shit like that. A little more spoiler heavy on the next one. But yeah, that is the direction we'll take. But these are our basic thoughts of just this fantastic game that came out in the past couple of weeks. That is
the best game.
Is great. It's one of those ones like I said, I feel like I'm playing one of my all-time favorite games.
10 million copies
in 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks.
Yeah. From a no-name company. How cool, man.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, this has been a fantastic evening talking about
Sorry for dragging you out so long, buddy.
No, that is fine. I mean, like I said, I still feel like there's probably, we just talked about this game for maybe 50 minutes and I'm still kind of like, was there stuff we missed? Probably. And we'll touch on that.
The story is an hour and a half that we can chat about.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. And bosses and boss mechanics we could talk about.
There's so many mechanics.
Yeah.
So the sequel to this is going to be really cool. So Chitters, thank you for coming along with us on this crazy ride through tonight's episode. There's, like we said, we got things coming down the pipeline. The Fight Club episode will be out in a couple weeks. Jake and I are going to come back and talk about this. By the time the next episode comes out, I will have had my Switch 2 for a couple days. That's something to look forward to. I kind of think we should aim to read the Andy Weir book.
Oh my God, do you want me to do that and this?
I don't know. We'll
Holy
talk.
fuck.
We'll keep in touch.
No, I probably can.
We'll keep in touch about that. But yeah. Jake, anything you want to give to the shitters before we fuck off?
I just love this. Chase puts his heart and soul into it. Please like and subscribe. He has earned it from you all if you listen, because he really does work hard on this. People like me, we just show up and talk. Yeah. The amount of time he puts into editing is he really deserves credit for it.
Thank you. And
please reward him with that.
I couldn't do it without the people that I do this with, because I could not be a one-man show, that's for sure. So shitters, Nerd Shit in the Dark every other Thursday. Until the next time, good night, sleep tight, and do not let those shit bugs bite. We love you.